Today I'm going to tell you 10 things that everyone who sells on Poshmark should know. And there may or may not be a bonus tip at the very end. So I have it all written down in my notebook so I can kind of stay on task and let you know some of the things that I have experienced as a 6-year Poshmark seller. Before I jump into it, I want to tell you a little bit of my background on Poshmark so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. So I downloaded the Poshmark app about 6 years ago. It was 2014 when I downloaded it, and at first I thought that I was going to make a bunch of sales. I put my stuff out there and then nobody bought anything. So I was really kind of frustrated with the app, deleted it off my phone, and then it was 2017 where I re-downloaded it and I started making sales for the first time because my friend was making sales on Poshmark, and I was like, how are you making sales? I tried 3 years ago and nothing happened. And so she gave me some tips at the time and I tried them out and they worked. So since then I've been selling on Poshmark for over 3 years now, a little over 3 years, and I've had a really good experience. So I want to tell you in these top 10 things, there are positives and there are negatives that kind of go along with it. Okay, so tip number 1 is that it's so much easier to share your listings that you've already posted on a computer. So the app I think is very user-friendly. I do enjoy the app, but when you're looking at it, you can only see about 4 posts at a time, whereas on the computer you can see all of your posts and just quickly reshare all of your items. So I think it's easier and faster to share your already existing listings through a computer. 2, my second tip is to post with a slightly higher price than you would accept. The thing about Poshmark is that you take a large percentage out of your earnings. So for example, if you sell something for $5, you're gonna make about $3.05. So they take $2 away from you from those $5. But the thing about Poshmark is that people who buy on Poshmark most of the time are looking for a really good deal, and most likely they're going to offer you a price that might be a lot lower than what you want. 3, be prepared to hold clothes for a long time. And that I think is one of my cons with Poshmark, is that I've had items in the past that have been up for 3 years. Did I want to hold on to those clothes for 3 years? No, because I put them on Poshmark because I didn't want them anymore. They weren't bringing me joy. They weren't sparking me joy, as Mary Kondo would say. Especially if you live in an apartment or you just don't have room in your house to store these items. It can be very frustrating to wake up and see this big pile of clothes or clothes hanging in your area where you don't like them anymore and no one's buying them on Poshmark. So at some point you have to make the decision that, hey, either I need to lower the price, and if that's not working, then I may just need to sell it at a garage sale if you really want money for it, or just give it to Goodwill at that point. Tip number 4 is that you can get free supplies from the United States Postal Service. You can get free boxes, you can get free envelope liners, you can get free any box supply. They're free. I know that they do sell things on Amazon, and Walmart especially has those liners that you can buy, but why do that when you are allowed as a Poshmark seller to use the priority mail boxes and all of those things for free? So utilize those things. You can go on USPS.com and order things for yourself, or you can go to your local United States Postal Office branch and get those things for free. They're literally just laying out and you can just grab them. Double check. I don't want you to be stealing. But they are free online and they'll deliver it to your house within a week or less. So before you start selling things, I would have your supplies handy for sure. Tip number 5 is share your closet daily. So this can be 1 time a day, or it can be at most to 10, 15, 20 times a day. Share your entire closet. And it looks kind of like the retweet button on Twitter. So that's what I mean by sharing. That allows your followers to see your listings on their homepage. And it also gives you the opportunity to share your listings to a posh party, which happen daily. Tip number 6 is that Pictures on Poshmark are a 1-to-1 ratio, similar to Instagram. So when you're taking photos just on your iPhone and then trying to upload them to Poshmark, sometimes it's not going to get the full item, or things are going to look a little weird. So I personally like to just use the Poshmark app and use their camera, because it's already 1-to-1 ratio, and then you're assuring that you're going to get the entire item in your photo. The only downside to that is that you can't like edit it if you want to edit your photos, but personally I find it better to not edit your photos too much, because then people can get a really good idea of what the product actually looks like in real life. 7, write thank you notes to your buyers every single time. I know that when I bought my tanning mousse from Loving Tan, even though I know that it's just like a little printed card, it makes me so happy every time I see it. And people still enjoy handwritten thank you notes, and it makes the buyer feel like that they weren't just buying from somebody random. And even though I am a seller on Poshmark, I do use the money that I make on Poshmark to invest more in Poshmark and buy items like this jacket. Side note, I bought this Columbia jacket for like $15 on Poshmark, and it's high quality, it's perfect. This seller that I bought from, she was selling her items similar to how I sell my items. She put it in a cute little liner, she wrote me a thank you note, and it was an all-around good experience. But there have been other times on Poshmark where I buy something and they literally just shove it in a bag and send it to me, which, like, I'm not gonna take off any ratings for that, but it's definitely not a good selling practice in my opinion. So I feel like writing thank you notes is a way for you to connect to your buyer, and then they can come back over and over and over again, because that does happen sometimes. People will love the way that you handle their items, that they'll come back for more. 8, tip number 8 is really think about if you want to buy wholesale on Poshmark. So if you're unaware, Poshmark does have a section of the website where you can get a boutique certification and then buy on Poshmark through wholesale. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet. Unfortunately, a lot of the wholesalers on Poshmark do get wholesale from other companies, and the things may not be as high quality as you would expect like a normal boutique to be. In the end, it's not really worth it to me to buy wholesale. If you are looking to make this like more of a business, instead of just you selling your clothes that you are not using anymore, I suggest that you find places like Goodwill, Salvation Army, and look through there and find high quality things that would be worth it for somebody to buy. 9, use the offer to liker features only when you feel like you have enough likes on your post. If one person likes your post, or 2 people, it's probably not worth it yet to offer a price to those likers, because they keep track of how many times you've offered to somebody. Also, the next offer that you give has to be the lowest offer you've given in the last 90 days. So if you wasted an offer on only 2 likers and then in a week you have 10 likes on it, well, now you have to offer even lower than what you did before. So you're losing more money that way. So I would wait until you get enough likes on a post, and you can do that by resharing all the time. Tip number 10 is to post frequently new listings on Poshmark. So I know people will have a system in place that they add 1 to 5 new items to their closet every day. And the reason why I say that is because if you put 5 new items in your closet, then you will be suggested to more people, so-and-so has added these new items to their closet, and that gets people to go to your profile. They'll see the new items as well as previous listings. So it's good to constantly update your closet, and that's why it's addicting for people to go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, or buy wholesale, because then they're able to put new items on their closet. So those are my top 10 tips, and I also have a bonus, number 11. You need to be careful with who is buying from you on Poshmark. And I know that this can go both ways. You need to be careful with who you're buying from, and you also need to be careful with who you're selling to. There are a couple different things that I want to touch on this. The first thing is that there are creepers on Poshmark. I've experienced this so many times where some new profile will start commenting on my things and say, hey, what does this look like on? And it'll be like a mini skirt, or it'll be like a bikini, or it'll be something like that. It will be a profile that hasn't been up for very long. They don't have any pictures, and if they do, then sometimes it'll be like one picture that is obviously stolen from somebody's Instagram or Twitter or Google or something. So those people are predators, and they're trying to get you to basically post pictures of you wearing the items that they don't even intend to buy. They're just gonna do creepy things with it. So be careful about that. And in addition to that, if you do end up making a sale to that person, just know that they're gonna get your address. Your return address is posted on the mailing slip, on the shipping label. Your address is there. That's why I use a P.O. box, and the P.O. box is nowhere near where I live. I am well aware that people are super creepy and will do anything to find out where you live. Second thing is, you have every right to cancel an order that somebody has made. So if you feel like somebody's creepy and may like try to get your address and like get you, you can delete the order. Now the third thing that kind of goes along with be careful who you sell to on Poshmark. There are people on Poshmark that will buy things from you, get the item, destroy it, take pictures of it, and put a case claim on you, which means that they will get a refund of their money, you will lose the items, and you would make no money. So I want you to be careful because you can lose out on your items and your money if you are selling to the wrong people. Hey, this is Future Allie. I'm editing the video right now, and I wanted to clarify a couple of things. I just want you to be super careful. I suggest that you take pictures of the items before you send them. Take a picture of you putting the items in the box, take a picture of you putting it in the mailbox, like things like that, just to kind of cover your butt if something like that were to happen. Some of the Poshmark Facebook groups talk about it all the time, and there are scammers, so just be aware. Like with anything in life, there's gonna be a scammer or somebody trying to cheat the system. Just letting you know. I don't want you to be like super scared or anything, but letting you know that, hey, that's a possibility, and just to be aware. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informational. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get a notification anytime I post a video. I hope you had a super awesome day. Bye.